Welcome to another ranking video. This time we're doing Soulsborne from Software Games, right? So nothing like a Lords of Fallen, Jedi Fallen Order, Neo, uh, Mortal Shell, anything like those. This is the real deal from the guys that have been doing it, Miyazaki style, from there, right? So let's just get into it. We're going to do these in order of which they were released. I'll try to make sure that's correct. Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin are going to go unranked today. And I'm sorry for that, everybody. I have not played them. I have them, but I have not played them. And I apologize for that. Yeah. And then we're also throwing in the Demon Souls remake in there as well, because it's practically pretty much built from the ground up with the same skeleton and bones. A few little changes here and there. But yeah. So, order of release. Demon Souls is a S tier. Oh my god, was this game amazing. I played this game in December of 2009. I remember there being a huge scuttlebutt on the internet about the game. And I found it in a local game store that I used to go to used. And I was like, oh man, I've heard nothing but great things about it. So I pop it in, and oh my gosh, online's amazing. It just works, right? And I was so impressed with it. It was an RPG like none other that I played. So many different ways you could play the game, whether it be magic style, whether it be, full arm, crazy, in your face style of action, if you wanted to be that way. But it was methodical. Bosses were so much fun. Except you, Maneater. I'm looking at you. You were not that much fun. And then, of course, Valley of Defilement. Anytime there's a poison level in any type of game, and that's every From Software game, it just, takes a little bit of the fun out of it for me. But it's alright. Demon Souls, absolutely fantastic. I absolutely loved it. It really, really made me truly excited for the next entry in the series, with Dark Souls coming out. And I'm gonna put Dark Souls and Dark Souls Remastered in the same thing, because they're essentially, it's the same game. Demon Souls remake. Oh, you know what? We'll put them in. We'll put them in the same. We'll put them on that. We'll put them up there, but it'll be different. But with Dark Souls coming out, with Skyrim coming out around the same exact time, I was really looking for Dark Souls. Picked up Dark Souls booklet day one, and Dark Souls to me is a solid B. Haha! I'm sure that's gonna upset a lot of people. I did not like Dark Souls, and I still don't like Dark Souls, but I'm not gonna sit here and tell you it's not an amazing game, right? Oh, sorry. Energy drink, so good. So, before I begin, understand that I absolutely love Demon Souls. I love the structure of Demon Souls. I love how it operates. I love its world-based shenanigans that it does. What I was not prepared for was the open world of Dark Souls. Open world's okay, right? It's nothing that makes it more difficult. I'm just not as pulled in story-wise as I was on Demon Souls. I know Souls series is a little weird to get pulled in story-wise, but just something about it didn't click with me. And it was from the very beginning. Asylum demon, or going through the asylum, going through getting a Drake sword, going through and doing the rudimentary things. I just never have felt pulled to this game. And it sucks because I had spent over 300 hours in Demon Souls to the point where I platinumed that game, right? I did everything I could. In fact, I left Dark Souls to go back to Demon Souls. Something with Dark Souls has never clicked with me. I don't know what it is. I tried the remastered, bought the remastered, hoping maybe my preferences change or anything like that. No, just absolutely not. And I was shocked, because I was like, man, like, how could this game miss the mark for me so much? But everybody else, of course, is like singing its praise and glory which is great because not everybody appreciated what Demon Souls was, because not everybody one could play it, and it wasn't as a popular of title as Dark Souls. Dark Souls being the one that really kind of put From Software not necessarily on the map, but pretty much in the mind for everybody, and everybody loved it, and so I was great for that. That's why I'm not going to put any less than B. It's not a bad game whatsoever. Mechanics are great. It just doesn't pull me in like some other games do. Um, when that came out, my disappointment with Dark Souls, and I was like, you know what, maybe the series is going to progress into something that maybe I just don't want to play anymore, and that's fine. So that's why I never gave Dark Souls 2 a shot, is because I just kind of pinned. I was like, you know what, if Dark Souls 1 wasn't it for me, I'm not going to try Dark Souls 2, so there's really no point in continuing that on until I saw a trailer for a game called Bloodborne. I was really excited, and Bloodborne gets an S tier. Bloodborne is probably my favorite Soulsborne game. The sheer amount of technique involved, storytelling is absolutely fantastic. The atmosphere is the best in the series. The ability to get your health back, being aggressive, but also understanding what parries are, absolutely beautiful. DLC, and FromSoft needs to be cited with this. From Software's DLC is usually fantastic. Bloodborne's is no exception, with the Old Hunters DLC. Chalice Dungeons, very, very difficult platinum to get in the game, but my gosh, was it worth it. So much fun this game was. I just absolutely was just mesmerized from start to finish, and this made me understand that that's what I wanted. Maybe so much of Dark Souls is kind of I wanted it to be faster, maybe more faster paced, maybe something was going to be, something along those lines. And, I was excited to hear about Dark Souls 3 because I knew that they were going to take some lessons from Bloodborne and throw those into Dark Souls 3. And my God, did they. Did they ever. Dark Souls 3 was absolutely fantastic. It's my favorite game bearing the name Dark Souls. But Dark Souls 3 is a great game. Not as memorable, in my opinion, as like Bloodborne or Demon Souls, but still, PvP-wise, probably one of my favorites. I do think that there are some great moments in this game. I do think that it's absolutely fantastic. I think if you enjoyed Elden Ring and never played any of the previous ones, I think this is the easiest one for you to enjoy. But I do think that it's really, really good. And it has all the makings of it to be, a 9.5 out of 10 game. I just think there's a few things really kind of holding it back. Nothing, and like I said, nothing major. It's memorable moments, story-wise. I don't think it's on the same level. And then it kind of feels, it feels rushed towards at the end of the game. I don't know if that's a way to say it or not. Whereas, like, there's moments in, like, the Nameless City or whatever, or, like, dealing with the Nameless King, where I think FromSoft succeeds sometimes more in its side content than it does in its main content. And that's nothing to be sad about. I just think that it's in-game or in parts there wasn't really as, like, crazy as, like, a Bloodborne or even a Demon Souls. For that matter, where it still kind of felt like the same recycled kind of thing. And I may not have finished Dark Souls 1 or 2, but I know the endings in Dark Souls 3 takes a lot from that. So, like I said, I don't know. You could put an S, I won't feel bad. Sekiro is the next one on this list, and I've spent probably about 20 hours into Sekiro. I haven't beaten it yet. I've gotten a pretty good idea, and I want to go back to it. And it's going to go on A tier, because its battle system is absolutely insane. A is pending right now. It could go to S tier very easily, because it is a beautiful, beautiful game to play. And I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It's difficult as hell. I think the learning point when you're... is it Genshiro? I can't remember. But when he has his 2 or 3 forms and you're facing him, I think that's your, like, checkpoint of the game to know whether or not if you're going to make it through. And I loved it. I love it so far. It's a fantastic game. I really want to kind of get back into it. Sometimes you just got to be in the mood to play these type of games. But its battle systems, its story, and everything like that, I really enjoy it. It's a really good follow up to any Souls game that you're looking for something faster paced or anything like that. I think it and Bloodborne share a lot in common. But yeah, it's boss battles, even regular enemies sometimes. Man, they can really just get you. Exploration's fantastic. It has that same, wonderful mythical feeling that the other ones do. But yeah, it's just such a great game. Um, Demon Souls remake gets an A, right? Um, I and this is weird, right? If you were to play Demon Souls, if you were to ask me which one to play, you're gonna play the remake. Um, but I'm not going to give it an S because the game already exists, and I guess it's that weird thing of like, how do you score a remake? So, not that it has anything to do with this, but look at Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4 took it and reimagined it from the original RE4. Whereas Demon Souls, it reimagines some things and you get a lot of quality of life, but there's nothing truly original in that, and that's okay. Like, would I have loved to have seen them make the Valley of Giants, the one archstone that's broken? Oh my god, yes, I would have. Is that true to the game? It's not. So there's liberties that they can and can't take. I do think it's an amazing game. It is a great reason to own a PS5. Online has always been really good for me. PvP was always really good. Tendency aside, I know that it's definitely a favorite for repetitive playthroughs and things like that. And the world tendency system, I know it could be a little bit confusing to some people, but I don't think it's that bad as some people may make it out to be. Um, a fun as hell game though. Absolutely enjoyed it. Have no problem playing through it again with anybody else that wants to start a character. I think it's a lot of fun. I do think that its biggest downfall, though, and it kind of highlights the original one, is how much stronger magic is in Demon Souls. Where I do think they could have played around with the difficulties a little bit more. I want to say make it more difficult, but definitely don't make easy mode being a sorcerer. Um, yeah, that's kind of how it is. But yeah, no, still a fantastic game. I was so happy when they remade it. It's just, it's soul food. It's comforting. It needs to happen to Bloodborne for sure. That same treatment, because Bloodborne going back to, I'll be honest, it's a little rough. I'll still play the hell of it, and I still think it plays great. But man, oh man, that 60 frames a second, or just how even to look how this would look. Oh my gosh, I think it would just do this game wonders. And now for Elden Ring. Elden Ring's S tier. Now, I wish I could go back and replay Elden Ring all over again without having any knowledge of that game. I have yet to experience a game like Elden Ring except for The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. This is everything I wanted Breath of the Wild to be. It's everything I wanted, a game that I can explore to be. I've never, ever played a game like Elden Ring. And to say hyperbole on it, I know there's people that don't like it. I know that there's maybe even Souls fans that don't like it. But there was nothing like this game. And it's been a while. Like you can always say there's landmark games, right? And what I mean with that feeling is that feeling of adventure, that feeling of excitement, right? Like Zelda instilled that into me when I stepped on the fields of Hyrule Field and Ocarina of Time for the first time, and I went, "Wow, look at this! I can go anywhere." Obviously, you can't go anywhere, and there is another game that I know invokes similar feeling to people. You're leaving the vault in Fallout 3, and you look in the first time what the wasteland looks like, and you're like, holy crap, I can go anywhere? Like, that's the feeling that Elden Ring gave to me, but it delivered 10 times full because you could literally go anywhere. You could do whatever you wanted to do. Were there certain things that you were kind of capped by level? Yeah, but not really, because you could kind of just, dip around it. Exploration's fantastic. Finding dungeons is great. I will say that recycled enemies do happen every now and then. That's going to be a case with how big the game is. I don't think that's a bad thing at all because there are some fantastic enemies, some fantastic bosses in this game. I think there's some great story to be found in this game. But just the sheer amount of things you could do, the classes and everything like that, I don't felt like one class ruled over the other. I do think there were certain weapons that were better than others. Obviously, you're going to have that. But my God, is there just not a game that, oh my God, the only thing that would have made it just better is if it was seamless co-op. And I know that's, maybe that's a dumb thing to ask for in a Souls game, but every time I hooked up co-op with my friends, like it was such a fun time. But and then only one person gets it. Like if we were just able to do that, I know there's mods for that on PC and stuff like that, but I just think that was included in the game from the get go. I just think that would be a fantastic addition to it to explore because that world is amazing. And I just if the systems were there, let it happen. But my God, is there not a game that I just wish I could forget and replay again? So hey, thank you guys again for stopping by. This is a fun thing to do. We're not really debating anything hardcore over here. We're just taking a look, seeing what we got. So, but yeah, let me know what your favorite From Software game is. Let me know how much I need to play Dark Souls 2. I have a friend who tells me play. It's one of the best ones. Maybe I'm a little bit scared. I don't know. But thank you guys. As always, you have a great day. Like, share, subscribe. Have a nice day.